fucking donkey. You might have seen a house fly, maybe even a super fly, but I bet you ain't never seen a donkey fly.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we are going to discuss our trade plans for this week. This week's trade plans are actually do or die. It's make or break. It's season defining. Whatever we do this week will shape up our destiny for the rest of the year. This is the week. We have to get it absolutely spot on. So I'm going to bring in the best of the best this week. Just come on down. Now, for our trades this week, the first thing we do is we ask the computer, we ask Trade Assist what it's going to do for us. Let's have a look what Trade Assist suggests. Okay, let's have a look at some suggestions. Okay, now it says here, Payton for Connor O'Sullivan. Now, that's not too bad. That's actually a half-decent suggestion. If we do two trades, what does it suggest? It says Will Day to O'Driscoll and Payton to O'Sullivan. Well, that's actually not too... The computer's getting smarter these days, the AI. So what if we do three trades? What does it suggest? It would suggest that we take out short the Spud. Even the AI thinks that short's a Spud. And it says that bring in Dale. Also suggests that we bring in O'Driscoll and O'Sullivan. Okay, so this is what the computer is... The AI is suggesting. But I need to have a better plan, okay? Because we not only have to plan for this week, we need to plan for round 5, okay? Now, round 5, I want to bring in Callum Mills. It's going to cost me, how much cost for Callum Mills? I think it's about 360k. Let's have a look at Callum Mills' price. Yeah, Callum Mills, 357k, expected to be available for rounds 4 to 5. Well, we're not going to get him in round 4 because we won't have the cash. We want to get him in round 5 because it takes a rookie off the field. That's number 1. And number 2 is we get to be a primo ahead of a lot of teams. So the goal is to get in Callum Mills, 357k. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, the way we get the calculator out, all right, we need to have 80k in our bank accounts for starters, all right? So we need 80k. We need 2 players to make 80 each. And then we add in Payton's score or price, which is 1, because we're going to trade Mills to Payton. So plus 132. And that's your 370, or even you can even make 70k each. So virtually, we need to start with at least 80k at hand right now. And be prepared for round 5 and just cash out on 2 rookies early. That's the plan to bring in Callum Mills. So with that in mind, let's start our trading. Now, first up, the player that needs to go, it's going to be Will Day. Okay, we'd already planned for this anyway. So Will Day's going to go. It's not a shock announcement. Okay, so he was going to go regardless. What we're going to do is we're going to move Lindsay into the midfield, short to flex, and we're going to bring in Zorko the Magnificent. Okay, so Zorko the Magnificent comes into the team. All right, so let's lock this trade. Let's complete it. Complete the trade. Confirm. The next part of the equation is also simple. Okay, we're going to remove a player that we don't think is going to get many more games, and bring in Nathan O'Driscoll. Now, that player could be Payton, could be Hanley, or could be Hasty. At the moment, I'm holding Payton because I need a defender rookie here to fill up 8 spots. So there's no point me removing Payton and bringing in another player that's not going to play. So I might as well just keep Payton there for now. So I can remove Payton, for example, and bring in O'Sullivan. But I've got doubts on O'Sullivan because Collar Jasny, if we have a look at the Geelong injury reports, let's have a look at it now. Now, this was updated from last week. Okay, now it says here, Collar Jasny, 2 weeks. Now, this was from last week. So, Collar Jasny out for another 1 week. So, he's going to be back probably next week. Okay, so probably going to miss this week and back another week or the week after. So, it means that we may get 2 weeks out of O'Sullivan, or even 1 week out of O'Sullivan if Collar Jasny comes back. The next point is, because the rest of the players are not relevant, but Collar Jasny is, And if we have a look at Geelong's defence, if we take a look at the defence, they got Mullen. Maybe he gets dropped out, okay? But then again, Kolajasny comes back in there. So maybe Kolajasny replaces Mullen, okay? But Tom Stewart is still going to be playing. O'Sullivan scored, what did he score? He scored a 48 in round one. When Stewart didn't play, he had a big game because last week, as we know, Stewart got injured. So what happens? Because Stewart is going to play again now, or if he misses this week, he'll play next week. So O'Sullivan only had a big last quarter, which gave him all the points. Those big quarters, they come every week. So my question then becomes, is there room for O'Sullivan? I'm not a Geelong supporter, but O'Sullivan seems to be the player, or Mullen. I don't know much about Mullen, to be honest, but O'Sullivan, I think, is the player of concern because also we've got to bear in mind the Conning as the ruck. He may even move to the back line if they bring in their senior ruckman, okay? So because they're going to play some tough matchups, and they got smashed in the ruck against St Kilda. So what happens if the Conning goes to defence? Who goes out? It has to be a tall. So I'd say it's O'Sullivan that's at higher risk. So for that reason, I'm just sceptical. I don't want to have another player play one or two games and then get dropped. So O'Sullivan for me is the one that's at risk. And because he scored a 48 in the first round, it means that he can have low ceiling games or high ceiling and low scores as well. It's a combination. So I'm going to pass on O'Sullivan. I'm just going to keep Payton. Bearing in mind, Payton had 32 disposals in the Magoos this week. But then again, they got a few players coming back as well. So I don't even know if Payton's got any job security. But I'm going to remove Payton to bring in Mills anyway. That's the plan. So I might as well just keep Payton here. If it's not going to be Payton going out, it could be Hanley, okay? Because I don't think Hanley's job security is going to be that secure. I got him in to make a quick 30. Well, I was hoping for more than 30k, but he only made 20k. So I started with him. So maybe he's the one I'm going to remove, or it could be Hasty. I just want to see if Hasty plays this week. I'll keep Hasty and remove Hanley. If Hasty doesn't play this week, then he's gone. So for now, let's assume that Hasty's not going to play. All right, so we're going to remove Hasty from here, assume that he's not playing, and we're going to bring in from Freo, all right, our Freo boy. And this one I got wrong. Okay, I was not sold on picking O'Driscoll because I thought on a wing roll they would go at the most 70. Okay, I don't see wingers score 90s very often. But actually, Drisco looked very good. Okay, I was actually shocked how good he looked. So we need to bring him in, and also the fact that he's going to make some serious cash. Okay, so and he also suits our. Let's show you here. This was what I wanted. Okay, I wanted 5 midfielders that can go 100 plus with 3 rookies that can score 80 plus. Okay, so I think Nevitt, Lindsay have the capacity to go in the 80s, okay, even though Nevitt didn't do it this week, and O'Driscoll for sure can do it. So I've got 3 players here that can go 80s. I've got a decent bench player in Henderson, okay, so that's not too bad. And now we've got Short to deal with. Now, and our defence line has got the 4 primos and room here to bring in Mills in round 5, because it doesn't matter this week what they're going to do, because it's best 18. But when we go best 22, we need to have at least 5 players that can go at 100. So, and Bice being a good rookie, it sort of it balances the team out perfectly. Okay, so my next move, okay, was going to be short outs. All right, if I take short outs, I was going to bring in, well, if it wasn't Short, all right, let's go back here. It was going to be Stewart out, all right? I was going to trade Stewart out because when he got injured, they said 4 to 6 weeks, PCL or whatever. But now they're saying he's running on the track. He may even play this week. So if he doesn't play this week, he plays next week, all right? So I might as well keep Stewart now. So Stewart stays. Then it was Short going to go out. Now, if I trade Short out at 529k, well, I got 529k left. Plays I can afford. I could bring in Bailey Dale at 528k. I can then complete this trade. All right. So if we bring Dale in, let's just switch Dale with Peyton here. All right. This way I could switch Peyton with Johnson, because Johnson is a good scoring forward, so I might as well have Johnson on field. All right. So now what this does, this gives me, all right, actually take Bice out for now. Now this gives me 5 primo scoring defenders, but the problem is I'm bringing Dale in, all right. Is Dale going to be a top 6? Because who's ahead of Dale? All right, let's name them. All right, who's better than Dale? I think Sinclair is better than Dale. All right, I think Whitfield is better than Dale. All right, and I think also the boy from Gold Coast, and I'm talking about Sam Flanders. When he comes back, he's going to be a player I want in my defence, so he's going to be better than Dale. Now, I owned Dale last year, and I can tell you, he let me down so bad. Now, if you go look at last year's stats, count the 100s, right? 1, 2, 3 100s in the last 9 games from Dale, okay? You can almost say the 99 is 100 as well, so just say 4, but you got some 80s, 70s, a 40 in there, another 70. He's very up and down with his scoring, okay? You can see it, the 80s, 90s, and his 100s are big. This is when he kicks goals, like we saw in round 1, all right? He scored a 127, but there was 2 goals in there, all right? In round 2, he was on 35 points at half time. He wasn't looking like a player, a must-have, okay? It was only the second half he went nuts. But that's a problem with Dale. We don't know what we're going to get every week, so you watch him nervously every week. I hope we get the good Dale. So for this reason, I want someone more consistent, okay? So for me, I had Dale last year. He does offer a good value, all right? There's another factor. He has a round 12 bye. So with Dale and this team, all right, round 12 bye, how many do we have in here? Okay, now we got the Horny Man, okay? We got Caleb Daniel, that's 2. I got the Conning, that's 3. Now I'm going to get Sherry in. So next going to become Sherry, that's 4. I got Rosie, that's 5. I got Ed Richards, that's 6. I got Sheasels, that's 7. Dale's going to be number 8. I don't want another one, okay? So I don't want to have 8 players with that round 12 bye. So for that reason alone, I'm going to have to pass up on Dale. And there's other factors as well, but the round 12 bye also is a major factor. Now, I did have 2 other options for short, all right? Now, we could have brought in Freya or SDK. SDK didn't really do that well last week, okay? It was below expectation on SDK, and he played against a ruckman that usually concedes points in Marshall. So SDK wasn't the answer for me, with the fact that I also listened to the presser from Chris Scott, or one of the Scotts. I think it's Chris Scott. I get them both confused because they're twins. But Chris Scott, he said that they're probably going to mix and match his role with Stanley. Stanley may come in. So it made me very scary, okay? I'm very scared. So I decided, no, I'm not interested. So SDK out. Then we got Fraser. I've already got these mid-prices. I've already tried the Perrymans. I've tried the shorts. I've tried all these mid-prices. I don't want any more things to do with these mid-prices no more now. Now it's upgrade season for me now. It's correction time, okay? And fixing a mistake with another mistake is not a correction, okay? Now, Freya may not be a mistake, all right? He may be the real deal. But let me show you something with Freya. Now, we look at Freya's scoring, all right? Now, fantasy points, he scored 75, all right? Now, that's important, okay? Because I want you to keep in mind that you've got here quarter 1, 13, quarter 2, 20, quarter 3, 17, quarter 4, 25. This 25 was similar to any other quarter, but it included a goal, which you got points for. Take that goal out, and that's probably a 16, okay? So similar to his quarter 3. In Supercoach, he was on 50 points at 3/4 time. He got the bonus points when he kicked that goal. He got something like 30 points for that goal. This score of 100. I don't believe it. Okay, even though it's given, it just looks good, okay? It's a pretty face, but it's not realistic, okay? The realistic score for Freya is here, okay? It's around about the 70 mark. If Freya goes, let's have a look at Freya's averages and what he'll make. Now, he has a break even of -1, so if he scores a 100 this week, he's going to make some serious cash. So that's the good thing with Freya. However, I've already got rookies going to make some cash as well. I've got a lot of rookies that are on minus something as well, so I'm not worried about what he's on, okay? Now, if he goes at these scores, at 80, and these are realistic scores, 81, 81, 76, 82, he goes to 423k, all right? So he hasn't really made that much, okay? He's made around. He's going to get one big boost, and that's it, okay? Then he's probably a second bit of a boost, and that's the end of his cash making. It's all gone. He's going to go to an average around about 80 and stuck on about 420k. For me, it's not worth it to bring him in for 370k and then get stuck on 420k and make 50k on him. He needs to go at 100. And even if he goes at 100, okay, if he goes at 100, let's go over here, projection. Actually, it's not working right now. But if he goes at 100, he still doesn't make much because he goes for about 500. He makes about 130k. He does make a bit, okay? So he does make, but he needs to carry that till round 7, all the way up to here. I don't know if it's going to happen, okay? So Freya makes me very scary. So I've lost interest in Freya. I'm not ready to gamble. So let's reverse this Dale to short trade, all right? Complete this trade. Now, we got... What can we do? What trades can we do? We only have 529k. There's no defenders that I like at that price. So I don't actually need another defender now because I'm planning on bringing in Mills, and I'm happy to field Bice as the 6th defender. So I actually don't need a defender. So, okay, now let's put these back in their spots again. Okay, Peyton back there and Peyton over here because Peyton is going to become Mills. So what are we going to do with Short? Now, also we have a scenario where's Smith in our team? We don't have a Smith. Where is he? I can't see Smith. So Short is going to become Smith, but not this week, okay? Probably next week. So we can hold on to Short for another week, okay? And cop another 70 from Short this week. So Short stays, okay? He survives. So we got one trade left. What do we do? We saw Nank the Tank on the weekend score a 67. Is Nank the Tank the answer? I don't think he is. Okay, I made a mistake. Okay, we're going to own up to our mistakes. Okay, and Nank for me was a mistake. So we're going to trade out Nank. Nank's a Gonski now. Okay, Nank goes out, and we're going to bring in Sherry. Okay, it's Cherry time. Might as well bring in the best. So Sherry's done. Sherry comes in. All right, we'll complete this trade. And then we go to look at our team. Let's do a, what do they call it? Let's optimize this. Okay, optimize. So this is our team for now. Okay, now Short is going to become a Smith next week. All right. And the chances are very high that Hanley is going to become a Hall from West Coast. I really, really liked Hall's game last week. Even though he only had 55% CBAs, he was ahead of Hewitt, who only had 14%. So Hall looked really good. And I know Hall took Graham's spot, but I think there's room there for Hall in this team. And having a look at Hall's... let's have a look at Hall's graph from last week. Okay, and he actually scored 88 Supercoach points. So Hall is a gun. Okay, so we're going to have to get him next week. And... looks like he played a bit of a wing role, but the West Coast looks like they're going to be playing a lot of wing action this year. So Hall started CBS, then went to the wing, but for a rookie at his price, I think Hall is going to be a jet and a good cash maker, possibly even better than most of the ones we got there. So for me, Hall's going to be a lock next week, and Hall will replace Hanley next week, which then leaves me with one rookie that I don't like, which is going to be Peyton. And then he'll become Mills later on. So cash salary left is 35k. By the time we remove Short to Mills next week, that's another 50k. Okay, so let's say 45k because Short's probably going to lose a couple of dollars here and there. So our balance will then become, well, you got 35k plus a 50k or 45k. So you're looking at 80k balance. Then we got another 20k coming out of Hanley next week because we're going to downgrade him to Hall. So this cash balance then becomes 100k. All right, we'll have 100k salary here left. We're opening up funds to bring in our boy Mills in round 5, and it's actually looking good for round 5. So the plan is going to be a 5 defense. 5 players, okay? We're going to have a 5-player midfield. So 5 defense, 1 rookie. Rookie being Bice. The midfield will stay as it is. The ruck lines will stay as it is. And the forward line, well, then we're going to have, Short won't be here. We'll have Smith in here. So Smith will replace somebody here. And then probably Johnson or somebody else will come on. Maybe even Hall will be this flex spot. Okay, so that's the plan right now. We'll see how it goes. Just hammer down. So repeating one more time, Zorko, O'Driscoll, and Sherry in. Okay, we've admitted our mistake with Nank. Okay, and we're taking responsibility. I'm going to bring in Sherry now. So the 3 in, and then Day, Hasty, and the Nank out. Okay, so that's our trades this week. I don't think I'm going to hold Nank anymore. He's 1% owned. There's no point having a player 1% owned then scoring a 67 because you're the only one that cops it. That's the worst case scenario, and it happened. You'd rather have Sherry score a 67 because everyone owns him, okay, but not the Nank when you only you own him. So it hurts so bad. So these are the trades. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining. And remember one thing, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.